Hi everybody, I'm Wendy the Kitchen Mystic, and this week's video is about, hang on, I will show you what this week's video is about. I know I'm filming in a different location. I'm downstairs in the garage because it's all very exciting. Can you see that? Oh God, I'm tripping over all my stuff. Can you see that? We have sold our little beach place up north. So this week's video is about 5 little things that I have learned on this journey as I have focused on manifesting selling our little place, because the market up in the far north, hang on, just tripping over all the stuff. The market in the far north is flat as a pancake and nothing has been selling. So I'm just going to quickly introduce myself because it'd be rude not to. Hi, I'm Wendy Ferguson, the Kitchen Mystic, and the point of this channel is to help people that have gone through a spiritual awakening and are a little bit lost. I have been awake, since over 20 years I've been awake. So I've learnt a few things or two, and I just want to share them with you guys to make your awakening easier than what mine was 20 years ago, because whew, was not easy. A spiritual awakening is not easy. So if you want to learn about 5 little things, manifesting tips that I learned in the last 8 months, then stick around. If that's not your jam, then hopefully next week I can make a video that adds value to your life. So just before I go and make a cuppa, before we get into this video, I just want to ask a little favour. If you get value out of this little video, would you consider subscribing and helping my wee channel, helping my journey on YouTube? In return, I will get better at making these videos. I will get better at speaking into this camera, and I'm going to say I will try and deliver you some value and help you on your spiritual awakening. That is my promise to you. So stick around. Let's learn about manifesting together. I'm just off to make a cuppa and I'll be back in a minute. See you soon. Welcome back. So as I said in this video, where is it? I'm just going to run over the 5 things that I have learned as I've manifested selling our house. And as I said, it took months and months in the making, and at times I just gave up and got down in the dumps, but eventually I pulled myself together and it happened. Oh, before I get into that, I think before I forgot to say, hey, if you're a returning viewer, thanks so much for popping back and hanging out with me. And if you're new here, thanks for popping by and seeing what we do here. So as I said, I've got the five things that I learned on my manifesting journey, selling our little beach house, and I just want to run over them really quickly. If you can hear that, I think it's hubby walking around upstairs, and I've told him to stay still for the next few minutes. So the first thing is always live in the end. You must live where your desire is living, which is really difficult because this earth that we live on right now, it is full of distraction, okay? It's full of distraction. And one day we can go from, what do they say? We have thousands and 40,000, no, maybe that's too low, 70,000 thoughts a day, and that creates, how we feel. So it's really, really important to stay in your desire. And I do have a hack. I'm sure I've shared this before. What I do is I set my phone every half hour. I would set my phone and a little photo would pop up with our house and a sold sticker on it. And that would just keep that front of mind all the time. And I would dance around the room and say, hey, our house is sold, our house is sold. But in other moments of the journey, it wasn't sold and it was a disaster and all those kinds of things. Because remember that the subconscious runs 90, well, it might even be more, but it's 95% of our lives. And if you're of a certain vintage, then your subconscious is well implanted and you're just living by your program. So remember that. So to change your program, you've got to remind yourself over and over again of your new desire. And as I said, the world is full of distraction. This will help keep you on track. Okay, so I would suggest if you're really serious, like I got really serious because I thought we're going to be here for like years, because the market, as I said, the market up north where we have been living is flat as a pancake. Nothing has been selling. So yeah, that's my number one hack. So number two, let's move on to number two. Oh, always ask, always ask your spirit guides, the God that you pray to, or the universe for help. Now, I just heard this beautiful, hang on, just let me put this down. I just heard this beautiful young lady on TikTok last night, and she referred to spirit as Gus. So Gus was short, and I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. Gus is God, universe, and spirit. So we have to ask Gus for help. Every day we have to ask Gus for help. And why do we have to ask Gus for help? Well, it's pretty simple. Gus knows all our answers. Remember, there's just a little spark of you that's come into this beautiful body, and that spark has forgotten who you are. So if you ask your higher self, ask Gus. Gus will remember. Gus is powerful and knows all your answers and will help you achieve them. But the really important thing here is you must ask. I'm sure I've mentioned it before in a short, it's a universal law. So you must ask for their help. In fact, ask for their help every day. Every day when you wake up, remember to ask for help straight away. As soon as, and it becomes a habit, it becomes an absolute habit. And the other thing is, what they'll do is they will show you things to keep you on track. You know, they will just show you things, because sometimes divine timing takes a little bit of time to kind of line up and everything to be aligned and for it to happen. Well, that's what I've found in my life. So remember, ask your spirit guides for help. So important. Gus and his mates, Gus, I just love that. Gus, God, universe, spirits, spirit guides, ask Gus for help. And just by doing that every morning, it will become a bit of a ritual, and it will help you stay in a higher vibe state. And I can't remember what number 3 was. I'm just going to pop back here. Oh, number 3 is use your spoken word as a positive tool. So quite often, you know, at the start of the year, we set all these goals and these desires about how we'd like our year to go. And then we don't use this beautiful thing as a positive tool. We start talking it down. We start saying, oh, I know I won't reach my goal weight this year, or, oh, I will not. I mean, who's going to fall in love with me? You know, who's going to fall in love with me? Or I'm never going to find my dream job, or that money's never going to come into our account. And that's what Gus hears. So that's what Gus is going to bring to you. So it's really, really important to, in fact, do this for the next 8 hours. Do not allow anything to come out of your powerful tool, your spoken word, that will hold back your desires and your goals. And you'll go to say something, like I went to say something just before this old sticker went on our beautiful little house. And I was like, I'm not going to say. No, reel that back in and use this for powerful, you know, like when you're saying affirmations and you get in that really, really good space. Just use this for a powerful, positive tool. It's really, really important to do that. And, you know, I watched some guy on YouTube, and he said that changed his life. So reminding myself about that from now on, I'm just going to use this as a positive reinforcement tool. The other thing I will say about that is every now and then you will have stuff that you will want to say. Okay, and it won't be good stuff, and you'll want to get it out. So what I would suggest you do is every few days, or even once a week, basically say all the crappy shit, just get it all out there, and every time you say something, say delete, 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 delete. The good thing about that is it's not in here, being held in here, festering away. You actually get the bloody thing out, and you get it said, and then you delete it, so it will not upset your vibration at all. And that was number 3, wasn't it? That was number 3. Oh, number 4. We're just about there. This isn't, as I said, this is not going to be a long video. And the other thing, before I go, if there's anything else that you've got that you've learned, pop it in the comments. And I know I'm only starting, I'm only a tiny channel, but it just might help someone. So, and now I've forgotten. Oh yeah, I remember now. Number 4. Number 4. When something positive happens, it's really important to say thank you and to be really grateful. Like, I remember when we were on this journey, and for weeks and weeks and weeks, the agent hardly called us. We got no viewings. The market, like around this area, nothing was selling. Like, nothing was selling, and it became like quite, well, we got a bit down in the dumps about everything. In fact, at one part, we actually took the house off the market. So what I would do is every time something positive, something tiny, like I just run you a few, I'll run you through a few things that happen. Like, people would drive up and down the street and someone would stop and then really stop and then really look at the house, and I'd be like, that's so exciting, that's so positive. And then one week we had 3 viewings, and I was like, thank you. And I could feel the energy of getting our house sold building, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, that is so cool. And then the house across the road, across there, sold. And I was like, I was so excited because in my mind, I thought, well, if that house is sold, our house is next. And as it turned out, our house was next. And yeah, it was just so exciting. So what you have to do is, when anything great happens, you have to say thank you and be really, really grateful. It's so important, very important. I think we're on the last one. Oh yeah, this is something that I have had to learn. And I know this stuff, but you forget. You get busy, your mind gets full of crap, and you actually forget. So it's really important. The how this is going to happen is nothing to do with you. I must tell you a little story. One. So I was convinced that this beautiful couple down country were going to be the new owners of this house. And I would just be like, oh, you're going to love it here. It's a beautiful place. And it is a beautiful place. You know, I'm kind of like, oh, what are we doing leaving this beautiful place? But we've got another dream that we want to start. So, and I would say, oh, you're going to love it here. And they had a couple of dogs, and it was just so, I was so pleased for them. And they were selling a couple of houses down the way. And I was like, oh, your houses are going to sell, and then you better come and live here. And in the end, those people were not the new owners of this beautiful little house. And it really taught me that the how my desires, how my goals, how my dreams are going to play out, nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing to do with me. So that's another thing to remember. You hand it over to Gus. Remember Gus? God, universe, spirit. And you trust that Gus is looking after it. And then when you pick up a little breadcrumb, or you go, oh, I'm going to go over here, or oh, I'm being told to go over there, then you go over there and you do the action you're meant to do to allow the process to keep going. We get stuck because in our minds we think it's going to happen this way. And when it doesn't happen that way, we get pissed off. We're like, wow, I decided it was going to. No, don't do that. You are the human, you are the vessel, but you let the light come through you so it can happen. So, excuse me. So that did teach me a lot. So yeah, so those are the 5 things. I was going to pull an oracle card, but I don't even, in this mess, I don't even know where they are. I think they're upstairs. So I'm just going to run you through them, the 5 things. Number 1, always live in the end. Don't live where your desire is not, okay, where your desired outcome is not. And remember, that takes practice. Number 2, always ask Gus or your spirit crew for help. Number 3, use your spoken word as a positive tool. Really important. Number 4, when something positive happens on your journey, say thank you and be really grateful. Number 5, remember the how is nothing to do with you. And that's about it from me. I'm going to go over there and start sorting out that stuff. We're getting rid of a lot. Like, this is a new beginning. We are getting rid of a lot of stuff, and we're restarting our lives in our 60s. It's an exciting new journey, but I'm not going to get rid of this. I got to go. And you guys got to go. I'm not going to get rid of my crown. Okay. Love and light. Have a beautiful day. See you. I better get on.